All right, so you're getting ready for an interview for an after-sales service technician position.
That's a really great field.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. We're going to dive into these role catcher guides
Yeah.
and hopefully help you make a killer impression.
Awesome.
So what's really cool about this is that it blends technical expertise
Yeah,
with like strong people skills.
exactly.
So it's not just about fixing things.
Uh-huh.
It's about making sure the customers are happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, making sure that that whole experience is good for the customer.
Yeah, for sure. So we have some great resources today. We have RoleCatcher's Career Guide Interview Guide
Nice.
and even a sneak peek into their question repository.
Oh, cool.
So
I like that.
yeah, so our mission today is to equip you with the strategies and the insights to handle those tricky interview questions.
Love it.
We're also going to touch on the career path itself and how RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer.
Yeah,
In your prep, are you ready to dive in?
let's do it.
Okay, so first let's just set the stage. What does an after-sales service technician even do?
Yeah.
I mean, we hear the title, but what's the day-to-day like?
So think of it this way. You're the expert after someone buys a product.
Okay.
You're installing,
Yeah.
you're maintaining, you're repairing,
Huh?
and most importantly, you're keeping customers happy.
Right.
So it means you need a good mix of technical know-how, problem-solving skills,
Yeah.
and a knack for dealing with people.
Right. It's like a detective, a therapist,
Right.
and a tech wizard all rolled into one.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. And you mentioned different work environments, too. That's something to consider as well, right?
Absolutely. You could be in an office at a customer site
Mm-hmm.
or even in a manufacturing facility.
Wow.
Adaptability is key.
Okay, let's get into the heart of it, the interview questions.
Yes.
RoleCatcher highlights 9 common ones.
Okay.
But remember, it's not about, like, reciting the right answer.
Right.
It's about showing how you think.
Exactly.
So the first one is a classic.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience in troubleshooting and diagnosing technical issues?
Ah, yes. A classic for a reason.
Yes.
They want to see that process, that problem-solving process in action. So don't just rattle off, a list of problems that you've fixed.
Right.
Instead, walk them through your approach.
Okay.
How do you gather information?
Okay.
What steps do you take to diagnose the issue?
All right.
What tools or techniques do you use?
So it's like showing off your detective skills, you're uncovering clues,
Exactly.
piecing together the puzzle, and ultimately finding that root cause.
I love it.
Yes.
Be ready for follow-up questions, too.
Yeah.
They'll dive deeper into specific challenges that you faced.
Uh-huh.
Have a story ready,
Oh.
one that really showcases, your analytical thinking and how you overcame, a particularly tricky issue.
Okay, so detective hats on.
Yes.
What's the next question that RoleCatcher highlights?
How do you prioritize and manage your workload? This is where you demonstrate your organizational skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Right, because customers with urgent issues are not known for their patience.
Exactly.
Is this where project management skills come in handy?
Yes.
Even if the job description doesn't say it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Talk about the systems you use to stay organized.
Okay.
Whether it's a to-do list, a specific software, or even a mental framework.
Uh-huh.
The key is to show you don't get overwhelmed easily.
Right.
And you can juggle multiple requests effectively.
Okay.
So imagine a scenario where you have, multiple customers needing assistance,
Right.
some more urgent than others. How would you determine the order in which you'd address their needs?
So you're showing you can triage, prioritize, and still keep a cool head.
Exactly.
That's gold. What about dealing with those, shall we say, spirited customers?
Right.
Because RoleCatcher's next question is, have you ever had to deal with a difficult customer? How did you handle the situation?
Ah, yes, the dreaded difficult customer question.
It is.
But it's a great opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
They want to see your empathy, your communication skills, and your ability to diffuse, a tense situation.
It's almost like they're testing your superpower,
Uh-huh.
turning a negative experience into a positive one.
Exactly. Start by acknowledging the customer's frustration.
Yeah.
Showing you understand their perspective.
Aye.
Then explain the steps you took to resolve the issue.
Okay.
Did you actively listen to their concerns?
Right.
Did you offer a sincere apology, even if the issue wasn't directly your fault?
Right.
Did you go above and beyond to find a solution?
And don't forget to highlight how you stayed calm and professional throughout the whole ordeal.
Yes.
Nobody wants a technician losing their cool under pressure.
Exactly.
What about specific examples? Do you have a go-to story?
Well, I have a few up my sleeve.
Okay.
But, this deep dive is all about preparing you.
Right.
So think about a time you turned a challenging customer interaction into a positive one.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't even have to be work-related. Maybe you helped a frustrated friend or family member with a tech issue.
Right.
The key is to showcase your empathy and your problem-solving abilities.
Love that, turning lemons into lemonade.
Exactly.
Okay, on to the next question from RoleCatcher.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with product installation and setup? This seems pretty straightforward.
It might seem that way, but there's a crucial nuance here.
What's that?
It's not enough to say, yes, I've installed things.
Yeah.
You need to tailor your answer to the specific products the company sells.
Ah, right. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So if you're interviewing with a company that sells high-tech gadgets, you want to highlight your experience with software installations, configuring complex setups, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, what if they ask a follow-up question? Like, have you ever had to install a product in a challenging environment? How did you adapt?
Perfect example. That's where you showcase your ability to think on your feet and adapt to unexpected situations.
Ooh, I like that.
So maybe you had to install equipment in a tight space.
Uh-huh.
Or deal with unforeseen technical issues. Share an anecdote that highlights your resourcefulness
Oh, okay.
and problem-solving skills.
Okay, so research the company, understand their products, and tailor your answers accordingly. Got it. What's next on RoleCatcher's list?
How do you stay up to date with the latest industry trends and technologies?
Okay.
This is where you demonstrate your passion for the field
Yeah.
and your commitment to continuous learning.
Because the tech world's constantly evolving, right?
Exactly.
What kind of things should someone highlight here?
Mention industry publications, you read online courses, you've taken conferences you've attended, even personal projects.
No.
Anything that shows you're curious and actively seeking to expand your knowledge.
So even tinkering with gadgets in your free time could be relevant.
Absolutely.
It shows you're generally interested in how things work.
Exactly. And it goes back to that adaptability we talked about earlier.
Right.
The after-sales service landscape is constantly evolving. So companies want to see that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Okay, next up.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with electrical and mechanical systems?
Yes.
Now, I'm guessing this one gets pretty specific depending on the industry.
Just spot on.
Okay, like, for example, walk me through the process of troubleshooting an electrical fault in the company's specific product.
Exactly. This question is all about highlighting your relevant experience, even if it's not a perfect match.
Okay.
Let's say you've worked on car engines, but the company specializes in HVAC systems. You can still draw parallels.
Oh, interesting. So it's about showing you understand fundamental principles.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't worked on that exact system before.
Precisely. And you can even frame it as a positive.
Okay.
Your willingness to learn new systems quickly.
Okay.
Emphasize your adaptability and your eagerness to tackle new challenges.
All right, next on RoleCatcher's list is how do you handle multiple priorities and competing deadlines?
Yeah, this seems familiar, doesn't it?
It does. Didn't we kind of touch on this with the workload management question?
You're right. This is a chance to reinforce your organizational skills,
Okay.
but with a twist.
Okay.
It's about demonstrating your ability to make tough decisions under pressure.
Ooh.
They want to know you can not only prioritize,
Right.
but also execute when things get hectic.
Uh-huh.
So think about a situation where you had a tight deadline for a customer repair,
Right.
but another urgent issue popped up. How did you handle it?
So it's not just about creating a to-do list. It's about making those game time decisions when everything seems urgent.
Exactly.
Okay, this one's a bit of a no-brainer for an after-sales service role, but RoleCatcher still includes it.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with customer service? What's the best way to approach this one?
You'd think it's a given, but it's still crucial to showcase how you go above and beyond basic service.
Okay.
What makes you stand out?
Right.
Are you exceptionally patient?
Uh-huh.
Do you have a knack for explaining complex things in a way that's easy to understand?
Right.
Do you always go the extra mile to ensure customer satisfaction?
It's about highlighting those soft skills that make you a customer service rock star.
Exactly.
And I bet a compelling anecdote here would be really impactful, like a situation where you dealt with a frustrated customer.
Yes.
And not only solved their problem, but exceeded their expectations.
Exactly. Remember, stories make your answers memorable.
Yes, they do.
So choose one that showcases your dedication to customer satisfaction.
Okay.
And even if they don't ask for a specific example, be ready with one.
Okay, the final question on RoleCatcher's list might seem a little unexpected for a service technician role.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with project management?
It might not be explicitly stated in every job description,
Right.
but project management skills are often implied in after-sales service.
Okay.
Think about it. You're often juggling multiple tasks,
Wow.
coordinating with different teams,
Right.
and making sure projects are completed on time and within budget.
Right. So even if you haven't held a formal project manager title, you can still draw on experiences that demonstrate those skills.
Exactly.
Like maybe you organized a team event or took the lead on a volunteer project.
Exactly. It could be anything that shows you can plan, organize, delegate, and execute effectively.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've unpacked what an after-sales service technician does.
Yeah,
We've tackled some tough interview questions.
we have.
But before we move on, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's Career Guide. You said it breaks down the career path into 4 main stages.
That's right. Entry-level, junior, senior, and manager.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher provides these real-world profiles for each stage, which I think can help you visualize
Okay.
your potential career progression.
I like that.
So, for example, at the entry level, you might focus on basic repairs and troubleshooting,
Uh-huh.
while a senior technician might lead complex installations or train junior staff.
That's so valuable. It's not just about landing the job.
Right.
It's about understanding where you fit in the bigger picture
Yeah,
and what you can aspire to.
absolutely.
And speaking of aspirations, RoleCatcher's Guide also highlights the pros and cons of this career path, right?
Absolutely. It's important to have a realistic view.
Yeah.
So on the plus side, you've got job stability, growth potential,
Mm-hmm.
hands-on work, and the satisfaction of solving problems.
Yeah.
But there are also challenges like physical demands, potentially long hours,
Right.
and of course dealing with those difficult customers we talked about.
Right. And keeping up with the ever-changing tech landscape is a challenge in itself.
It is.
That's where RoleCatcher's emphasis on continuous learning comes in, right?
Exactly. The guide stresses the importance of staying up to date
Okay.
through manufacturer training programs, online courses, workshops, and industry events.
It's like they're saying congratulations on landing the interview, but the learning never stops.
Right.
Which brings us to another really cool thing about RoleCatcher.
Yes.
Their AI-powered tool.
Oh, yeah.
It's like having a secret weapon in your job search arsenal.
Absolutely. Imagine having an AI co-pilot that analyzes job descriptions and helps you tailor your resume so you stand out to those automated systems that companies use to screen candidates.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this AI co-pilot. How does it actually work?
It's pretty amazing. So you upload your resume and the job description,
Okay.
and RoleCatcher's AI identifies the key skills and keywords that you need to include.
Uh-huh.
It even suggests specific phrases and bullet points that'll make your resume more appealing to those applicant tracking systems.
So it's like having a resume expert in your pocket.
Exactly.
No more staring at a blank page trying to figure out what hiring managers want to see.
Right.
And it gets even better. RoleCatcher's AI also provides feedback on your practice interview answers,
Yes.
which can be a huge confidence booster.
It is.
Wow, so you can practice your answers and get personalized feedback
Yeah.
from an AI
Yeah.
that's specifically tuned to this industry and these types of roles. That's incredible. And the best part is there's a free version that lets you try it out.
There is.
But if you're serious about landing that after-sales service technician job, the Copilot subscription seems like a worthwhile investment.
I think so too.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the role, we tackled those tough interview questions, and even got a glimpse into how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge in your job search.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of after-sales service technicians. You know, as we were prepping for this episode, something from RoleCatcher's Career Guide really struck me.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about how this job is a lot like being a detective.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You're gathering information, observing symptoms, using your knowledge to figure out what's going on.
Exactly. And just like a good detective, you need to present your findings clearly and convincingly.
Right.
So let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about crafting compelling answers to those interview questions.
Let's do it. We already broke down the questions themselves in the first part.
We did.
So now it's all about nailing those responses.
Yes. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Okay, so let's rewind to that first question about troubleshooting.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience in troubleshooting and diagnosing technical issues?
Yes.
How do we transform a simple answer into a captivating story?
First, set the scene.
Okay.
Don't just jump right into the technical details.
Uh-huh.
Paint a picture for the interviewer.
Okay.
Describe the problem you faced.
Okay.
The product or system involved, maybe even the urgency of the situation.
Ooh, like the phone was ringing off the hook.
Sure.
Customers were frantic because their internet was
Well, exactly.
in the...
Then walk them through your process step by step.
Okay.
What questions did you ask?
Okay.
What diagnostic tests did you run?
Uh-huh.
What tools did you use? Don't be afraid to get a little technical here.
Okay.
But remember to explain things clearly so anyone can understand.
And this is where your passion for the work can really shine through.
Yes.
Like if you're generally excited about solving that technical puzzle, it'll show.
Absolutely. Let that enthusiasm come through.
Yeah.
Talk about the aha moment when you finally pinpointed the problem.
Yeah.
And the satisfaction of getting everything working again.
And don't forget to mention what you learned from the experience.
Yes.
Even if you made a mistake along the way, being able to talk about what you learned shows you're always growing.
Such a great point. Now, let's move on to that question about workload management.
Okay.
How do you prioritize and manage your workload? How do you make your answers stand out?
I think it's all about showing you're organized, proactive,
Yes.
and can handle pressure.
Uh-huh.
But how do you prove that in an interview setting?
Be specific.
Okay.
Don't just say you're good at multitasking.
Right.
Give them concrete examples of how you prioritize tasks.
Okay.
Manage your time and meet deadlines. Maybe talk about a specific system you use,
Okay.
like a project management app or a color-coded calendar.
Right, because everyone claims to be organized, but showing how you do it is way more convincing.
Exactly. And if you can quantify your achievements, even better.
Ooh, okay.
Did you implement a new system that reduced customer wait times?
Uh-huh.
Did you consistently exceed your performance goals? Numbers speak volumes.
Okay, now for the question we all dread.
Right.
Have you ever had to deal with a difficult customer?
Mm-hmm.
How did you handle the situation? Any tips for navigating this one gracefully?
This is where your empathy and communication skills take center stage.
Okay.
Remember, the interviewer isn't looking for you to badmouth the customer or play the victim.
Right.
They want to see how you handle conflict professionally
Uh-huh.
and find a resolution.
So it's all about de-escalating the situation,
Yes.
finding common ground, and maybe even turning that frown upside down.
Exactly. Start by acknowledging the customer's frustration
Okay.
and letting them know you understand their perspective.
Uh-huh.
Then walk them through the steps you took to resolve the issue. Did you listen actively? Did you offer a sincere apology?
Right.
Did you go above and beyond to find a solution that worked for everyone?
And again, don't forget to highlight your ability to stay calm and composed,
Yes.
even when the customer isn't.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned before, a well-chosen anecdote can really elevate your answer.
Yeah.
Have a story ready that showcases your problem-solving skills, your communication abilities, and your commitment to customer satisfaction.
Storytelling is key.
It is.
Now let's move on to the question about product installation and setup.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with product installation and setup? We talked earlier about tailoring your answer to the specific company and products.
Right.
But are there any other tips for making a strong impression?
Highlight your attention to detail.
Okay.
After-sales service is all about precision, ensuring things are done right the first time.
Okay.
So talk about your meticulous approach to following instructions, double-checking your work, and making sure everything is installed and set up flawlessly.
Like that old saying, measure twice, cut once.
Yes.
It applies to installations too.
Absolutely. And if you have experience with any specific tools or software
Right.
that are relevant to the company's products, be sure to mention those as well.
It shows you're already familiar with the tools of the trade
Uh-huh.
and that you're ready to hit the ground running.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the question regarding staying up to date.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with the latest industry trends and technologies? This is where you can really let your passion shine,
Right.
right?
You got it. This is your chance to demonstrate that you're not just clocking in and out.
Yeah.
You're genuinely interested in the field.
Right.
And committed to continuous learning.
So tell them about the industry publications you read, the online courses you've taken,
Yes.
the conferences you've attended, even those late night rabbit holes you go down researching new tech.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to get specific.
Yeah. Okay.
Mention new technologies you've been exploring or skills you've been developing. The more you can showcase your thirst for knowledge, the better.
Okay. For the question about electrical and mechanical systems,
Okay.
can you describe your experience with electrical and mechanical systems?
Mhm.
We talked before about highlighting relevant experience, even if it's not an exact match.
Right.
But how do you do that without sounding like you're stretching the truth?
It's all about focusing on transferable skills.
Okay.
Let's say you've worked on car engines, but the company specializes in HVAC systems.
Okay.
Instead of dwelling on the differences, talk about the underlying principles that are common to both.
Okay.
Things like troubleshooting diagnostics, reading schematics, working with tools, and following safety protocols.
So it's about connecting the dots for the interviewer.
Yes.
Showing them that even if you haven't worked on their specific systems, you have the foundational knowledge to learn quickly.
Exactly. You can even frame it as a strength.
Okay.
Your willingness to embrace new challenges and expand your skill set.
Now we're back to that question about handling multiple priorities.
Right.
How do you handle multiple priorities in competing deadlines?
Yeah.
We already talked about workload management.
Yes.
But how can you approach this one to add something new?
Here's where you can showcase your decision-making skills.
Okay.
And your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Right.
Think about a time you had to make a tough call. Maybe you had to prioritize a critical customer issue over a less urgent task.
Okay.
Or you had to delegate responsibilities to make sure everything got done on time.
So it's about showing you can not only manage your own workload, but also make strategic decisions that benefit the team and the company.
Precisely. And this is another prime opportunity to use a compelling anecdote.
Yes.
A well-chosen story can bring your answer to life and make it stick with the interviewer.
Okay, let's tackle the customer service question again.
All right.
Can you describe your experience with customer service? We talked about going above and beyond. But how do you do that authentically without sounding like you're bragging?
Focus on specific actions and behaviors that demonstrate your commitment to customer satisfaction.
Right.
For example, instead of saying you're patient, describe a time when you calmly walked a frustrated customer through a complex troubleshooting process.
Okay.
Instead of saying you're a good communicator,
Right.
share an anecdote about explaining a technical issue clearly to someone who wasn't tech savvy.
Show, don't tell. I like it. And it's okay to be proud of your accomplishments.
Yes.
Just make sure you back up your claims with solid examples.
Absolutely. Finally, let's revisit the project management question.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with project management? We discuss how those skills are often implied in after-sales service, even if they're not explicitly mentioned in the job description. But how can you demonstrate those skills effectively if you haven't held a formal project management title?
That's a good question. Not everyone has project manager on their resume.
Think about the core elements of project management.
Okay. Planning, organizing, executing, and monitoring.
Okay.
Have you ever taken the initiative to streamline a process? Have you successfully coordinated a team effort?
Okay.
Have you tracked progress toward a goal and made adjustments along the way? Those are all project management skills in action.
Right. And even small projects count.
They do.
Maybe you organized a team building event or volunteered to lead a fundraising effort.
Exactly. These experiences showcase your ability to manage tasks, delegate responsibility, and work collaboratively to achieve a shared goal.
Okay, we've really dug deep into crafting compelling answers to these interview questions.
We have.
Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to those AI-powered tools from RoleCatcher.
Okay.
They sound like a game changer, especially for tailoring your resume and practicing your interview answers.
They really are. So let's talk about using them effectively.
Okay.
First up, the resume builder.
Okay.
How can RoleCatcher's AI help you create a resume that gets noticed?
Yeah, because sometimes it feels like resumes just disappear into a black hole. They do.
What's the secret to making yours stand out?
It's all about understanding applicant tracking systems, or ATS.
Okay.
These are the automated systems many companies use to screen resumes.
Okay.
They're basically robots looking for keywords and phrases that match the job description.
So if your resume isn't optimized for these robot overlords, it might never even reach a human.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI swoops in to save the day.
Okay, I like it.
It analyzes the job description and identifies those crucial skills and keywords you need to include.
Okay.
It even suggests specific phrases and bullet points that will help you rank higher in those ATS results.
It's like having a personal resume writer who speaks fluent robot.
Exactly.
No more guessing what those algorithms want to see.
Precisely. And it's super user-friendly. Just upload your resume and the job description, and RoleCatcher's AI takes care of the rest.
Amazing. Okay, so you've got a resume that can charm the robots thanks to RoleCatcher.
Right.
What about practicing your interview answers? How does their AI help with that?
They have this fantastic interview practice tool
Okay.
that analyzes your responses and provides personalized feedback. You can record yourself answering common interview questions.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher's AI will assess your clarity, your conciseness, and relevance.
Oh, wow.
It even gives you tips on improving your delivery and body language.
It's like having a mock interview with a career coach who pinpoints your strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
but without the awkward small talk.
Exactly. It's a huge confidence booster.
Yeah.
Knowing that you've practiced and gotten feedback from an AI tuned to the industry
Right.
makes walking into that interview a lot less intimidating.
We've covered a lot of ground in this section.
We have.
From crafting those perfect answers to utilizing RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools
Yes.
to that extra edge.
And in the next section, we'll wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts
Okay.
and actionable advice to help you ace that after-sales service technician interview.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We've covered a ton of ground already from, understanding the role itself
We have.
to tackling those tough interview questions.
Yeah.
And even, using those AI tools for the job search.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, so now let's kind of shift gears and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
Your career in after-sales service.
I like it.
Going through all these resources from RoleCatcher, I was struck by how this job is about so much more than just fixing things.
Yeah.
It's about building relationships, right?
It really is. Think of it this way. You're not just repairing a product. You're often restoring a customer's faith in that product and in the company.
Right.
That made it.
It's like you're an ambassador for the company.
Absolutely.
Even if you're not in a sales role.
Yeah.
You have the power to turn a negative experience into a positive one.
Exactly. And that's why those soft skills we talked about, the
Right.
communication, the empathy, the problem solving, they're just as crucial as your technical abilities.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's distill some key takeaways for anyone prepping for an after-sales service technician interview.
That sounds good.
So first and foremost, know your stuff.
Yes.
Research the company, the products they sell, the industry they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Understand their most common customer issues.
Right.
The more you know, the more confident you'll be answering those technical questions.
Absolutely. And don't just stop at surface level research.
Okay.
Dig deeper.
Okay.
For example, if the company recently launched a new product line,
Mm-hmm.
be prepared to discuss potential after-sales challenges related to that product.
Preparation is key. And don't just passively absorb the information.
Right.
Actively practice those answers. Use RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools.
Yeah.
Or even rehearse with a friend. The more you practice, the more natural and polished you'll sound.
You think of it like prepping for a performance.
I know.
The more you rehearse, the better you'll be on stage.
Okay. Number 2, showcase your process.
Yes.
Interviewers want to see how you think, how you approach problems,
Yeah.
how you make decisions. So don't just give them the right answer.
Right.
Walk them through your reasoning.
Exactly.
Imagine they ask you about troubleshooting a complex issue.
Yeah.
Don't just say, I'd replace this part.
Right.
Instead, explain why you'd choose that approach,
Mm-hmm.
what other options you'd consider,
Right.
and how you determine the root cause.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you can think critically
Yes.
and not just follow a script.
And remember those stories we talked about?
Yes.
A well-chosen anecdote can make your answers come alive and stick in the interviewer's mind. Choose stories that highlight your problem-solving skills, your customer service abilities, and your passion for the work.
I love that storytelling is such a powerful tool.
Yeah, it's like you're inviting the interviewer into your world, letting them experience your successes and learn from your challenges.
Absolutely.
Number 3, embrace continuous learning. The after-sales service landscape is constantly evolving. So show the interviewer that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Right.
Talk about the courses you've taken, the publications you read, the projects you've tackled in your free time.
Mm-hmm.
Mention any online forums or communities you're a part of, anything that shows you're actively engaged in the industry.
It shows you're passionate, too.
Right. It's not just about having the skills for today's job. It's about showing that you're adaptable
Yeah.
and ready to embrace the challenges of tomorrow.
Exactly. Now, here's a final thought to consider.
Okay.
We've discussed how crucial after-sales service is, especially as products become more complex and interconnected. Think about how you can position yourself as an expert in a particular niche.
Finding your specialty. What kind of niches are we talking about here?
It could be specializing in a particular type of technology,
Okay.
developing deep expertise in a certain product line,
Mm-hmm.
or even becoming a master of customer communication. Finding your niche can make you stand out from the competition
Yeah.
and help you build a truly rewarding career in this dynamic field.
So to sum it all up, prepping for an after-sales service technician interview is about so much more than just memorizing answers.
It is.
It's about showcasing your technical skills, your people skills,
Yeah.
and your passion for solving problems and helping customers.
Mm-hmm.
It's about demonstrating that you're a lifelong learner who's eager to embrace new challenges
Right.
and contribute to the team's success.
And it's about recognizing the amazing potential this career path holds with the right skills, the right attitude, and a commitment to continuous learning. You can build a successful and fulfilling career as an after-sales service technician.
We hope this deep dive is giving you the insights and tools you need to ace that interview and embark on an exciting journey in the world of after-sales service.
Best of luck.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.